What if we could feel empowered by our own death? I know, what a wild thought to even entertain, considering we spend our entire lives avoiding death. It's like saying, feel empowered by a root canal. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey of thinking about death in a different way. Because when we have the courage to confront our death and face our mortality, it helps us plan for a way and also improve our lives. Now, in my line of work, I deal with death every day. And no, I'm not a paramedic or funeral director. I'm an estate planning lawyer. As a lawyer for the past 13 years, I've helped hundreds of families plan for their death. And every day, I help families face death in a real and emotional way. Now, I didn't dream growing up of writing wills and trusts. I actually grew up watching way too much Law and Order and dreamed of becoming a deputy district attorney. And I got to live that dream. I started my career out as a deputy DA, and I loved being in court. I loved serving my community. But I saw this pattern that I didn't love. I saw what happened when parents had no plans in place and the unexpected happened. Tragedy, car accidents. And I saw these kids end up in foster care. I saw families end up in long probate court battles. And it was through these experiences that I became passionate about being part of the solution, about helping people plan in a way to keep their loved ones safe, to keep their kids safe, to keep them out of court and conflict. And that's how I found my way to estate planning. So I quit my job and started my law firm. I put my entire life savings into it. And just when I thought the stakes couldn't get any higher, a mere 5 months into my venture, I got some remarkable news. I was pregnant. And this was no ordinary pregnancy. It was during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, being pregnant during a global pandemic changed everything for me. And I'm not just talking about my swollen ankles. Suddenly, the hypothetical risk of death that I helped other people plan for started to feel very real and personal for me and the people I worked with. Now, our office was flooded with calls during this time. I had all of these different experiences that led to 3 lessons that I want to share with you today. Now, the first lesson is death is unavoidable. Live your life, but plan for what happens after you die. It will make a huge difference for you and for the people you love. Now, some people think we can't control what happens after we die. I disagree. With estate planning, you can control what happens to your loved ones, your assets, your legacy. Now, during the pandemic, as I mentioned, our office was flooded with calls for people that wanted to put plans in place. And I remember this young couple who came to me. They had young kids, and they had an unfortunate situation. You see, their family members were addicted to drugs and alcohol, and they were afraid that if something were to happen to them, their kids could end up in a harmful situation. So they understood the importance, and we started putting together a plan, and then something strange happened. They got stuck trying to figure out who could raise their kids if they could not, and they stopped returning my calls. It's not uncommon to get uncomfortable during the estate planning process. And after a few weeks, they gave me a call, and when I spoke with the wife, she was crying. She told me, I just don't want to think about my death anymore. I can't do this. Now, normally, I would have just stopped right there, but something in me told me to continue having that conversation with her. And as she continued to talk, she had this breakthrough. She actually had people in her life, friends that she considered her chosen family, people that could step up if something were to happen to her. But she was too afraid to ask. She was afraid that it would be too much of a burden. So I encouraged her to do it anyway, and she did. And she reported back a few weeks later that the conversation went wonderful. Her friends felt honored. And over the coming weeks and years, they took a stronger relationship with her. Their relationship became deeper, and they played a more active role in her children's lives. So I saw this pattern happening over and over again, people facing their death and having these breakthroughs. fathers reconnecting with estranged children, single moms moving to new cities and developing stronger relationships. So I invite you to take a moment and think about, if something were to happen to you today, who needs your protection? For me, it's my husband, my 2 kids. Who is it for you? If you were to die today, and don't worry, you're gonna all live long, healthy lives, I promise. But if you were to die today, what would happen to them? Are there resources there? Are there relationships that need to be developed? These are the tough questions, but sometimes the toughest questions are the most important ones to ask. Lesson number 2, estate planning isn't only for the wealthy elite, it's not only for the elderly, it's for everyone. The Wall Street Journal reported a surprising trend. Estate planning is on the rise with millennials. Why are millennials so interested in estate planning? Well, estate planning and millennials come together because millennials are valuing their community more than the individual. More and more millennials focus on their impact on society and their values. Consider Sarah, a teacher who lives in a modest apartment. She's not someone you would think of when you traditionally think of estate planning, but she's at the forefront of this movement. She has a close-knit group of friends. She organizes her annual Friendsgiving. She calls her chosen family her family. For her, estate planning isn't about the size of her bank account. For her, it's about making sure her family is treated like her family under the law. Consider Michael and Michelle. They have young kids, and they name guardians that are close friends instead of distant relatives. For them, estate planning is about the care of their kids. Lesson number 3, planning for your death doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It can be simple and empowering. When the pandemic hit, one of my good friends lost her father unexpectedly, and he had nothing in place. So she had to go through all of his mail, computer files, boxes, trying to figure out what assets he had. It was a mess. And she had to do this on top of all of her grief, working a full-time job, taking care of young kids. It was a lot. And she's still not sure she has all of the assets. This is a major problem. People's assets get lost. Here in Colorado alone, we have over $1 billion in our Department of Unclaimed Property. People have retirement accounts, life insurance accounts, bank accounts, and the banks don't know where it should go, so it just sits there and goes to the state, and no one claims it. How would that money make a difference for the people you love? So I have a simple shortcut for you today that will just take a few minutes, but will make a huge difference for your loved ones. Grab your phone or a sheet of paper, and today, write a list of all of your assets, your bank accounts, your retirement accounts, your life insurance accounts. And then grab the first sheet of all of those account statements, put them in a file folder, and let someone you know, love, and trust know where that folder is. Each year when you do your taxes, keep that up to date. This simple practice will make a huge difference for your loved ones. Remember, estate planning isn't an exclusive club. It's an open invitation to tell your story and leave a legacy. So I'll leave you with this. Embrace planning for your death, and you may just find a new purpose, stronger relationships, and a way to leave a lasting legacy for those you care about. Thank you.